friends. Welcome to this one-day event in Mumbai. I am very happy to be back here again and to meet some old friends and some new friends. We are all traveling in the same direction. That is why we have gathered here. Our destination is our true home, Sachkhand, true home, where we belong. This place, the physical world, is a very temporary place we have come into. We do not stay here for very long in our physical bodies. Most people don't even reach 100 years. Yes, some may reach a little above, but most of us go back and leave their body and everything that connected with the body right here. Why I have come here? To share with you some experiences that I have had with my Sadguru, my master, Guru Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji. He initiated me on the 9th of March 1936. I'm sure many of you were not even born at that time. So having had a long innings with his initiation and with his order to do this seva for you, I have come to share these few experiences. The most important thing I learned was that meditation should be done in a correct way. And we miss out on the first part of meditation, which according to Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji is the most important. He said that before you start any meditation, like repeating of words, like doing Simran, you should first locate yourself at the third eye center behind the eye. Most of us have been just sitting with our eyes closed and keep on repeating the word, mostly with our tongue, sometimes with our mind, and we think that is meditation. The body remains our main focus and we remain constantly aware of our physical body. The chance of withdrawing our attention from the body does not take place. I have my friends telling me they have been meditating for 30, 40 years with no result. And the only thing that they missed was the first part. Great Master Baba Sawan Singh Ji said that if you want to be successful in meditation, before starting anything, place yourself at the third eye center behind the eyes. He said meditation should be done there, not where we are sitting. But what we do, we buy special chairs for meditation and we meditate on the chair. Oh, very wonderful chair, we got only meditation. Some people buy a small rug. This is my meditation rug. I have got a nice carpet only for meditation. I have set apart a room in my house for meditation. Do you realize when you do that, your attention is on the chair, on the mat, on the carpet, on the room? How will it be withdrawn to the third eye center? That is why so many of us are just sitting doing mechanical meditation with no effect. Therefore, it is very important, the first part is that first learn how to place yourself at the third eye center and meditate at the third eye center, not outside. Don't meditate with this physical body, meditate inside this physical body. Our consciousness, our soul, our mind, our self-perceptions are all working from inside, not from outside. Nothing outside is as real as our own self inside. But how do we place ourselves inside? It is not easy. Because when we try to close our eyes, our consciousness is in the body. We are not thinking of something separate from ourselves in the body. Therefore, the thing to do is to imagine yourself. Imagine yourself having pulled up yourself in the whole body and gone behind the eyes. I had difficulty for many years to do this. So I went back to Great Master Baba Sawan Singh and I said, Master, it is very difficult. Every time I try to figure out I am there, I have to make a picture of myself. I have to see myself sitting there. He said, when you are looking at the picture, you are looking for the body. You are still in the body. And the picture is not you. You are the one who is looking at the picture. You are looking at the wrong thing your mind has created outside. Not only that, he was able to explain to me that when we close our eyes and we see ourselves in miniature sitting there, that image is not even inside. Even that image is outside. And he gave a simple example. He said, if you close your eyes and say you are seeing that image, you can always know where your eyes are, even when they are closed. You can touch your eyes with your hand. When you touch your eyes with your hand, you know where your eyes are. You don't have to be told because your feeling of where the body is, where the eyes are, is known to your hand. So he said, now close your eyes and imagine you are sitting there. So I closed my eyes and I could see myself sitting there. Then he said, bring your hands up to your eyes, slowly. When I brought my hands slowly, before I touched the eyes, I crossed my image. Even the image you were making was not inside, it was making outside. So he said, this is not the way to do it. You have to imagine that your body is a house in which you live. It has 6 floors. Based upon the 6 energy centers, the 6 chakras, he says, imagine that your body is a house you live in and you are living in the 6th floor of your house. When you imagine your body is there, your head happens to be a room on the 6th floor. And then you imagine you are sitting in that house and the knowledge you have of the house is it's shaped like this body and you have eyes in front of you, you have ears on either side of you. You can't look at yourself, you just have to feel you are in the middle of the head. When he explained so nicely, I said, I have understood, but when I tried to do it, it was still difficult. So I went back to Great Master Baba Sawan Singh and I said, please explain to me, how can you really feel you are inside? You are always constantly aware of the physical body. And then he gave me another exercise. He said, raise your finger up above your head and imagine that you are sitting up. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you are standing in that corner? He said, that is easy. Imagining where you are is easy, especially outside. He said, then where you cannot see your finger, imagine you are sitting on top of this. So I would imagine the whole of myself pulling up and being there. It was not difficult. He said, bring it very slowly down. And are you still on the finger? I said, yes. Bring it further down. He said, bring it close to your eyes. Are you still there? Yes. Jump in. I jumped in. I was in the middle of my head. It is just a way of explaining that the meditation to be effective, so that we can withdraw our attention from the physical body, it is necessary to start from there and meditate with your imaginative self at the third eye center. Otherwise, we remain conscious of our body no matter. And people are sometimes thinking that if you sit for long, the feet can get numb and the legs can get numb, and maybe that is the withdrawal of attention. Not at all. If you feel the numbness, how have you withdrawn the attention? When you put your attention on your imaginative self, do everything there. Walk there, talk there, think of meeting people there, meet your master there, talk to your master there. If the attention is constantly on activities behind the eyes, you will not know where your hands and feet have gone. That is withdrawal of attention, not the numbness of the limb. That can happen by sitting for long anytime. That is not meditation at all. So therefore, numbness is not required. What is required is that you are concentrating so much on activities going on of yourself inside that you forget where the hands and feet are. Then you will forget where the legs and arms are. then you'll forget where your body is. You'll feel you're floating. It's only because you've forgotten. The attention is being pulled out from your extremities through your torso and coming up to the head. This is a natural process. Since in the waking state, when we are awake, we are constantly thinking of our head. We are thinking from our head, and the eyes are located near the head, not somewhere else. The ears are also located near the head. The nose is located near the head. Mouth is, all this is a small part. Most of our self-perceptions are operating from this area. The rest is attachment. The rest of the body is attached to this. So the whole process of our sense-perceptions is taking place in a small area. Now if you imagine you are inside, when you are imagining, you can feel you are inside, you can see things in front. You say, I am seeing darkness in front. I can see some light coming. I can see some shadows there. I can see some colors there. Who is seeing those? Your eyes are closed. Your inner eyes of your astral self are seeing those things. What we call Suksham Sharir or astral self is nothing else than the imaginative self with which you start meditation. It's a very big jump forward. Therefore, when you can see, you can also touch things inside, you can smell things inside, you can do anything you like with the sense perceptions inside. You are sitting quietly with the physical body and doing all the activities inside. So these people say, but this is only imaginary. Then they don't realize where does imagination come from. How do we imagine things? Where is this imagination? We have imagination, power of imagining things. We can see things, we can smell things. Actually, when I do my meditation workshops in America, where I'm currently living, I make people have an experience that they have flowers outside, they have a drink outside, and they snack here on the table. I make them imagine all these things are inside. And they can then smell the flowers inside, they can touch everything, they can drink, they can eat. Everything we're doing outside can be done with that imaginative self. That means all five sense perceptions are completely intact. Not only intact, they are sharper than they are outside. If you have ever seen, you read a newspaper, if you are old like myself and have to use glasses, inside you can read better than 2020 any newspaper you like. You can hear sounds much better inside than you can hear outside. All sense perceptions are very active and alive inside, much more than you have on the body outside. The truth is that the sense perceptions we feel are in the body outside are because of the sense perceptions of our astral self inside. Therefore, when you start your meditation, by imagining you are there, you are using a power that is constantly available there. The power of imagination comes from the astral self alone. It does not come from anywhere else. Therefore, when you are able to do everything with your sense perception inside, you are actually operating with the astral self. People think we have to meditate long in the physical body to reach astral state. Whereas the astral self is working right now so that we can see outside, touch things outside, it's all operating from there. The only thing is to pull the attention from the physical body to the astral self inside. So that is why I wanted to share this with you. It took me many years to correct this one simple mistake before meditation would be really successful. So that is why I am bringing this to your notice. Also remember that when we say we have gone to an astral plane, some people think it must be a sky high above somewhere. There is nothing outside. Outside is all physical. No matter how high you go, this is all physical reality being experienced by a physical body. You don't have physical body, this is all just going to disappear. A new sky will open up. When you are inside, examine the sky that you see inside. You will find there is no darkness in the sky. Here, light creates darkness, day creates light. Inside is the same light, not very high. It's like an evening light or an early morning light, but it is always there. constantly. So you will notice there are some differences between what is inside and what is outside, but the inside is creating the outside. So this only you get to know by actual meditation, since you are all following the same spiritual path of finding the truth within yourself. I am sharing this truth with you. But also don't forget that the astral self which you imagine inside, if you can stabilize your attention on that by putting more attention on it, we are very lucky that our awareness, our knowing what is around us, enables us to see things around and to see things inside and concentrate our attention. That's a very big power. Supposing I want to look at these beautiful flowers, and I only look at the flower and put my attention on examining every little piece of it. In a little while, I will not know who's sitting here. It will become less and less. This power of concentrating attention on anything enables us to withdraw attention from everything else. That's the secret of meditation. That when you concentrate your attention on your imaginative self inside, behind the eyes, between the ear, you are constantly withdrawing your attention from everything else. So that is why this power of concentrating attention on yourself enables you to become unaware of what is outside and what is in your body. It is a slow process. If you have seen people dying, and at my age, I will be 93 in a few days, at my age, I have seen so many of my friends are gone. I have seen them in the hospitals. I have seen them in the hospices. I have seen them in nursing homes. Their last days, I have seen many of them. They call me at the last time to see them before I see them dying in front of my eyes. When they die, they don't die suddenly. Physical death takes place also in a certain orderly way. That is, again, you will notice the attention is withdrawn of a dying person, first from the extremities, the hands and the feet, the person does not know. Then the legs and the arms go, and the patient is still speaking and saying, please put my leg on the left side, it is already on the left side. They lose the awareness of the extremities. Then they lose the awareness of the bottom of the torso and feel they are flying somewhere, they will lift it up. It's only withdrawal of attention. Then when it comes to the heart, they cannot speak. But their eyes are still moving and they are trying to communicate with us. When it goes above the throat, the eyes become still. When the eye center is lost, person is dead. The process of meditation brings about a similar experience. You feel the same thing. That is why it is called dying while living. Dying while living has been a good name given to good meditation, because you experience the same thing. In fact, I have advised many of my friends not to be in a hurry in meditation, because if you try to take a leap into this thing, you will feel you are actually dying. I give the example of my own father, my own dad. He was disciple of great Master Baba Sawan Singh. As a student in college, he got initiated. He was so keen that he meditated for several hours. When the attention was withdrawn on the body, he felt he was going to die. He stopped meditation. He said, this is a terrible meditation. I am going to die. So he went to the great master and said, what kind of meditation have you taught me? I tried, I was going to die. I am not going to do this meditation anymore. Great master said, let me tell you something. Just statistically, people can die at any moment. People while having a cup of tea, their hand have dropped and died of heart failure. People have died in their walks. People have died in so many ways. People die of accidents. Isn't it strange that there is no case of anybody dying during meditation? Statistically, doesn't that satisfy you that in meditation we have no reports of anybody dying? Okay, then he said, if you don't want to believe that, then what do you expect if you actually die? He said, I hope you will be there. He said, I will be there. Does that give you confidence? Since the love of the great master was so powerful, it was so pulling for us, that statement of his gave confidence. And then again great master said, you should meditate gradually, see everything. His words were Darza-ba-darza, step by step. Don't rush. We have waited for several lifetimes to come to this point. It's not a short period. Therefore, take your time. If you go slowly, one day you are feeling your hands are gone, then you feel your legs are gone. If you feel it's too rapid, stop and wait for next day. If you have the experience slowly, step by step, there will be no fear. But if you try to leap into that, you can have that experience. So I tell my friends even today, this is not a path to hurry, rush through. People tell me, we want to see the radiant form of the Master. In America, they use this phrase, ASAP, as soon as possible. So I said, why are you saying ASAP? Even ASAP is a long time in terms of the cosmic time through which we have passed. Take your time. Go according to your experiences as they develop. Any time you feel this is too much, stop. Don't make it a ritual. We very often, after these sessions by Perfect Living Master, think that meditation is also a ritual, that we have to do it just because the Master said do it. You don't understand. This is a great opportunity to find your own true self. It's the best way to find your own true self. Therefore, they say that do things gradually, stage by stage, step by step. If necessary, take baby steps, take small steps. But make it a progress. That means do meditation regularly. That's another problem we have. Some people say, we are so busy with our work. Ladies tell me they have to take care of their family, their children, they have to cook the food in the house. Where is the time for meditation? We do some meditation. Some men tell me on holidays. On Sundays we do some meditation. I can tell you from experience. If you do meditation on only once a week, you start from zero every time. Therefore you go back to square zero. There is no momentum kept. Meditation should be done every day. Even 5 minutes. That's an important point. That if you are doing meditation 5 minutes in the morning when you get up, your day will be like meditation. 5 minutes at night before you sleep, your dream will be meditation. Your sleep will be meditation. Don't miss these two opportunities at all. If you want to be successful on the spiritual path, if you can get more than 5 minutes, certainly. At least 5 minutes in the morning. I ask these housewives who are so busy, don't you have even 5 minutes? Of course we have 5 minutes. At least use 5 minutes. Moreover, we are told that the meditation, like many other things that we do, like charity, they say give 1/10 of your net income for charity. Similarly, they say give 1/10 of your time for meditation. 24 hours, 1/10 is about 2.5 hours. So masters are recommended, it's a good idea to give 2.5 hours of your 24 hours to meditation. But then people think of 2.5 hours more importantly than what they are doing during the 2.5 hours. I remember a friend of mine in San Francisco invited me that when I come to USA, I should see him and stay with him. I was then working in India at that time. So I accepted his invitation, had a long flight from Delhi to San Francisco, and when I reached there, he said, I am very happy you have come, you are an old Satsangi, a great master, we will meditate together. So I thought I will sleep for a day, but just to keep up my face that I am an old Satsangi, I agreed. So by the alarm, he set up the time for meditation, 3 o'clock in the morning. I also got up after sleep, and we both sat with our legs crossed. And he also sat like that next to me, and we started meditation. Now I don't know whether it was a coincidence that every time I felt I should see how he's meditating. I was not meditating seriously, I must confess, but every time I opened my eyes to see, he was looking at his watch. Every time. After 5-10 minutes, I would say, let me see. And he's looking at his watch. With great agony and torture, we spent 2.5 hours like that. And then he says, we had such a good meditation, I am so happy. I said, my friend, it was very good meditation. It was not meditation on the master. It was not meditation on the Shabad, the sound. It was not meditation on Himran. It was meditation on the watch. I said, not only you meditated on the watch, because of you, I also meditated on your watch. This is no meditation. This 2.5 hours, mind is running all over the world, and we are trying to complete the time. What use is it? Tell me. If you spend 5 minutes of intense love and devotion for your master, talk to him inside, it's worth more than 8 hours of meditation. That is why great master emphasized that the path that we are following is a path of love and devotion, not of meditation. Meditation is for the mind. Meditation is done by the mind. Meditation requires an effort to do it. All effort is made by the mind. How can you cross the mind? By making an effort with the mind. All meditation, no matter what, of any kind, and I've tried so many kinds of meditation, all meditation is with the mind and ends with the mind. It can take you to the external self, it can take you to the causal self, no more. No meditation ever taken anybody to our true home, our Sachkhand. What takes us above the mind into Par-Brahm and Sachkhand, which are our true homes where we discover ourselves, is love and devotion. Nothing else matters there. Thoughts cannot go there. Reasoning cannot go there. Mental experiences cannot go there. Only love and devotion goes there. Because love does not come from the mind. Love comes from the soul, always. Just like the mind has its own power of thinking, reasoning, logic, discovering reasons for things, putting cause and effect together. All these are functions of the mind and we are using it. It's the best gift we have been given to use. Use it for talking, use it for writing, use it for communicating, use it for thinking, use it for all these purposes for which the mind has been given. But since the mind is an obstacle to going beyond itself, it is not mind that will take you beyond itself. Only that which comes from the soul will take you above. The mind functions in time. Even the smallest thought takes time. Even reasoning out something takes time. All logic is time-bound. But intuition is not time-bound. Love is not time-bound. Appreciation of beauty is not time-bound. The feeling of bliss is not time-bound. Those functions are directly of the soul. Even here, in the physical body. Because all these things, our true home, our individual soul, our mind, our sensory systems, our physical body are all intact in one package. They are not separate flying anywhere. Everything is within itself. So that is why to go within yourself beyond the mind, only that thing will pull you what is already in the soul. And what is the soul? Love, intuition, gut feeling, knowing something without thinking, without time. We all experience those things, even now. The soul and mind are both functioning right now. And one more distinction, more easy to recognize, is the mind speaks, the soul listens. Soul never speaks. Mind speaks, soul listens. So therefore, the thoughts that come are a speech of the mind. But even the speech of the mind, soul is listening. Everything that the mind tells, the soul listens. That's how the functions of the universe is going on. I will tell you something further. I'm giving an example. Look at these flowers. What makes them flowers? The eyes are not seeing flower. Eyes are seeing orange color, white color, this shape. Eyes can only see colors and shapes, no more. The eyes are seeing color and shape. What makes it flower? When I look at them, my mind says this combination has been called a flower. Then learn that word and say these are flowers. If the mind does not tell me these are flowers, I will only call them orange color and white. Every experience we are having with every sense perception, the mind is translating it for us. So the mind interprets every sense perception. These functions are so beautifully being executed in us at all times, whether we are in the physical body or any other body. That is why the mind is doing a very good job. Let it do its job. Let it interpret the sense perceptions we are having. But let not the mind decide what we should do on our spiritual path. That is not the function of the mind. It will fight if you try to overcome the mind. Most people who come to me as my friend and say we are having big difficulty in meditation, almost 90% say the problem is their mind won't let them meditate. Their mind starts thinking of other things. And I tell them, wonderful, mind is doing a good job. Why are you blaming the mind? Mind is functioning for what it is supposed to be created, to interpret what is outside experience constantly. The mind is doing a great job. Now you start your job. We have to understand that we have two wills working in us. One is called mental will and one is called spiritual will. What is spiritual will? Spiritual will is the will of the soul telling the mind to say no to itself. When the mind wants something very badly, and your feeling is it should not be done coming intuitively, without thinking, you tell the mind no, you are developing spiritual will. I have suggested to some of my friends, don't have to do it all the time. When the mind wants something very badly, say no to the mind, using the mind to say no, and then when the mind says, no, one time, no, well, we make an exception today, no. If you can hold that no, your spiritual will develops. If you can do it 3-4 times in a week, your spiritual will develop. And you will find you will have control over what the mind does. Mind can be made to think what you want. But we don't allow that. We allow the mind to keep on thinking on its own and become our advisor. The mind is telling us what to do. A mind that was supposed to serve us, supposed to be used by us, is now using us. What a reversal of function. The mind can be used as we like. Make the mind think what you want it to think. Actually, the whole purpose of meditating through similar repetition of words is to direct the mind to repeat the word. The spiritual will is directing the mind to repeat. And the mind will repeat for a little while, then start thinking of something else. It is trying to get away. Mind is not a live thing. We have made it alive. The soul is life. Soul makes the mind alive. Soul makes the sense perception alive. Soul makes this body alive. Soul is the secret of life. We have empowered the mind with our life, and then instead of using it, we are getting used by the mind. We should learn how to develop spiritual will by learning how to say no to the mind as often as we can, and then your spiritual will, a will in which, without speech, using the mind, you can say no to the mind. So though both the wills are there, people sometimes call them God's will and our will. The same thing. Spiritual will or divine will and mental will are just the two wills that are operating. Somebody says, is it everything God's will? Mind likes that argument. Everything is God's will, we can do what we like. It is not true. In this world we are not functioning like that. It is a world of duality. Everything is in two, in pairs. The whole experience we are having is in pairs of opposites. Night and day, happiness, unhappiness, one extreme to the other extreme, everything is in pairs. Even the matter is also electron and proton, plus and minus, everything is in pairs in this physical, causal, and astral universal. It's all based on duality. So therefore, even the duality exists in the function of our consciousness to the mind or to the soul. That also functions like that. That is why it is not true. This question, what is divine will? What is God's will? This question was put to one famous poet, Jalaluddin Rumi. In his Masnavis, in his poems, he answered this question. He says, if God gives you a plough in your hand, He has expressed His will daily. If He has given a pen in your hand, He has expressed His will right. Whatever circumstances have been created around you without your arranging it, whatever circumstances have been around you, use them, that's God's will. What coincidences happen in your life, they indicate what to do it. That's God's will. But if you start contemplating on it, should I do it or not do it? This looks right, this looks bad, become mental way. So that is why intuitive life, people who are living in their gut feelings, you make your decisions by your intuition, by your gut feeling, and implement it with your mind. Say to the mind, do it. I made the decision without thought, it came to me, and now you do it. And don't let the mind fluctuate, your whole life will change. This simple development of your spiritual will changes the entire life right from here. Of course, you will get better chances of going within also. When we have to go beyond the astral self, many people have gone to the astral self. Many yogis and swamis tell us how to do it. Most of the yogis I have met, they are teaching me how to go to the 6 centers below the earth. These are energy centers. All our energies come from these centers. All energies governing our life, all energies giving us experience of the world coming from these 6 centers. But none of them is a center of awareness. Energy is not awareness. To increase awareness, to increase knowing yourself, does not come from these energy centers. It gives experiences, more experiences, unusual experiences. An unusual experience does not lead to your knowing yourself better. The centers of awareness are all behind the eyes and above the eyes. The centers of awareness are all in a very small place in this body. To tell you a true story, there was great master was decided to accept the invitation of one of my uncles who used to live in Karachi, now in Pakistan. It was a long distance from the Dera near Amritsar to Karachi. So we all went with the great master on that great trip to Karachi. On the way, we had good time with the great master on the train. And my uncle, who was working as a meteorologist, he had a nice house next to the beach, Clifton Beach, very beautiful place. So he said, Master, you are working so hard, come and have a vacation. And great master agreed. It was a nice trip we had. Now my uncle and my auntie, who lived in Karachi, they used to go to one Swami, Swami Brahmanandji, who was a great nice Swami with beautiful eyes. I still remember his face. And he used to wear the orange-colored, saffron-colored robes, and he used to have a muffler kind of a scarf around his neck. He used to hold the neck and walk with great cloth. Very nice. Good personality. They used to go to the Swami for Ayurvedic medicine because he was also expert in Ayurveda. They did not go to him for meditation or yoga, but they went to him for getting Ayurvedic medicine. When great master agreed to go to Karachi, they went to Swamiji, said, Swami Brahmanandji, our master from Punjab is coming here, he would like you to have his darshan. He said, I'll be very happy, you bring him to me, I will give him my blessing. Swamiji said, I'll give him blessings. They didn't expect that answer. So they decided that we'll invite the Swamiji and great master both to our house. And great master was staying in the bedroom. Swamiji came to the house for dinner, for lunch, and there was a love seat, a sofa, small sofa with 2 seats on it. They placed Swamiji on that seat. They said, we'll put the great master next to him. So Swamiji was seated there. They brought great master and they said, Master, this is Swami Brahmanandji we talked to you about, and he has come so he can see you, meet you here. And great master folded his hands, bowed his head, and Swamiji raised his head and went. I was there to watch the show. We were a little surprised. A great master getting blessings from the Swamiji. After a little while, great master said, Swamiji, isn't it a pity that so many Swamis and Yogis are all caught up in the six centers of the energy below the eye. And nobody has gone into the 12 centers of awareness that lie above. Swami Brahmananda said, "What centers are you talking about?" He said, "Don't you know there are 18 centers in the body? Only 6 centers of energy below the eye and 12 centers above. The 6 centers of Andu and Brahmanda and 10 centers of Sachkhand. Haven't you heard of them?" So in Brahmananda, I have never heard of these. This is something new for me. Will you please explain to me in detail where these centers are? I have been constantly thinking that the crown chakra above the 6 is the only centers available. And that's all the meditation we can do in the body. Great Master said this is all energy body. Energy, you are going to just work on energies of the body, not on the awareness of the body. Not knowledge, true knowledge of yourself is not there in the centers at all. Experiences are there, but not knowledge. Knowledge you have to get above. Swami Brahmananda said, "Master, I would like you to explain this fully to me." Great Master said, "You know, I am here for a short time. We're just meeting for lunch. But if you come to the Dera will come. I will explain to you fully." And the meeting ended there. Swami Brahmananda could not sleep at night. He was saying, "There are those 18 centers. I've never heard of those 18 centers." He got so excited about it. He closed his ashram next day. He said to his followers, "I am closing the ashram. I am going to Vyas Dera in Near Amritsar, where one Master Baba Savan Singh came and he is talking of 18 centers. I have to learn those 18 centers." So after some days, he arrived in the Dera. Great Master said, "Swamiji should be housed in the best guest house we have in the Dera. There should be 2-3 attendants constantly attending on him. He should be served the best food in the langar that you can give him. And Swamiji can see me at any time 24/7. All these great privileges were told to the Swami. And he was very happy being attended to. He was a VVIP in the Dera. And then he wanted to test if Great Master was correct in saying you can see me at any time. The middle of the night, at midnight, he got up to go and see the Great Master. And the Sevadars who were there in the house of Great Master were told, "If Swamiji comes, wake me up." So Swami Brahmananda came and they woke up Great Master. "Swamiji has come." Great Master received him. "Yes, Swamiji, what can I do for you?" He said, "No, I just wanted to pay my respect to you. I am very happy to see you. Now you go and sleep. Tomorrow come to Satsang." When the Swamiji went to Satsang, Great Master said, "Swamiji should sit next to me on the stage." And we saw Swami Brahmananda sitting next to Great Master. And there was the party on one side, Great Master, and then there was Swamiji sitting. And when Master spoke, he spoke of how these yogis and Swamis are all caught up in the 6 centers, have no knowledge of the truth of the soul. And Swamiji would look at him like this. After 1 or 2 days, Swamiji says, "Great Master, I have a problem. When you talk, I feel like looking at you, and so since you are sitting on one side, I have to turn my neck. I got a pain in my neck." Great Master said, "I also saw that. So please put a chair of Swamiji in front." So from the days, Swamiji is now down on the chair in front. But the days stayed there a little high. So next day, he is looking at him, and after 2-3 days, he says, "Master, Satguruji, I have a little problem." The Great Master said, "What is your problem now, Swamiji?" He said, "My problem is that I am sitting at the bottom, and I raise my head like this, and I got a pain in my neck." The Great Master said, "I also saw that. So please move his chair 30-40 feet behind in the middle of the Sangha." So the chair was moved there. After 2-3 days, he goes to Great Master, "Master, I have a little problem." So, "What is your problem now, Swamiji?" So, "My problem is you've given me a chair to sit. People behind me cannot have your darshan. I block their view. Therefore, I feel guilty. I don't pay attention to your satsang." Great Master said, "I also saw that. Please remove his chair." And he became like any other ordinary satsang. After, because he was an Ayurvedic physician, great master gave him a small little hut to practice his Ayurveda. We got his Ayurvedic medicine. I was in those days practicing homeopathic. So great master had given me also a small place there. So we used to exchange notes on our different systems of therapy. And one day I was sitting with him. He said to me, he said, this master of our great diplomat. There I have to stand in line just to get interview with him now. When I came here, he treated me like a royalty. Had he treated me like I'm treated now, I would have run away the next day. He knew my mind. He knew that by just putting me high up, my ego will be so satisfied. Now I can't run anywhere. He is trapped with his love. I can't do it. Now, this is a very important lesson. We learn how these perfect living masters function. They function with love. Their love is unconditional. Their love is such that even our mind, a doubting mind, after some time, ignores the doubts and goes to the master. Another example I keep giving, also very interesting, was a professor, intellectual person. And he came to great master and he said, Master, what you are teaching to these people is all nonsense. There is no proof that there is any Sachkhand inside. Just the brain is all. We know the entire structure of the body. I'm a professor and I've studied anatomy of the body, and there is no such thing. You're just making up these big stories. All you gurus are misleading these people. Please don't do that. I have come just to request you, please don't mislead the people. Great master said, Professor Sahab, I understand your point of view. Your experience is what you are telling me. I appreciate your honesty. My experience is different. Therefore, I share what my experience is. It happens to be different, and we can always disagree. The experiences can be different. But I appreciate your honesty in expressing your view. Professor went away. Next Sunday, he was back again. And again told great master, Master, don't mislead people. There is no evidence, no proof of any of these things. We are scientists, scientific people. We should have proof for everything. You say all these things and people believe you just because you got a white beard and you look very handsome. No, there is no such thing. Please don't mislead people. The great master said, Professor Saab, you came last week also, and I told you, your experience is different from mine. You are telling me what your experience is. I share with my people what my experience is. They are different. So the professor went away. Third Sunday he was back again to say the same thing. The great master said, Professor Saab, you already come twice to say the same thing. Why was the need to come again? He said, I don't know, Master, but I feel like coming and seeing you every time. The man who was total disbelief and became one of his best of friends later. But one thing happened, that his understanding of spirituality was, in spirituality you have to be humble, you have to be poor, you have to suffer. Without suffering you can't be a good satsangi. I don't know how he got those ideas. And he would go to Master, Master, please make me humble. Give me all the illnesses, give me poverty, so I can succeed. At his death, this professor, disciple of great master, invited me to come and see him in the hospital. He said, I am going to die. But Ishwar, I want to tell you one thing. I made a big blunder. I asked Master for poverty. I asked Master for illness. I asked Master for humility. All I got was poverty, illness and humility. And I got nothing. He fulfilled all my wishes. Please never do that. If you go to a perfect master like Baba Sawan Singh, ask for the best things in the life. Why should you say, give me something bad here because I'm going to get something better somewhere else? Don't forget. The body says, Bahar antar eko jano. Outside and inside is the same. It does not mean that outside should be bad for inside to be good. If a master with that power is come here to give us great blessings of our true home, we should ask him that our lives here should be worse. Master has so much love and compassion. They come to help us both outside and inside. But you never forget the power of a perfect living master. That is why a professor taught me something very important. I went to great master, give me the best. You will get the best. And I got it. So I can't tell you better than that these perfect living masters is nothing like it. They are our destination in a physical body. We want to go to such paths. Sometimes I remember people sitting in front of great master with their eyes closed. What are they looking for? What they are looking for with the eyes closed, sitting in front of them. They don't realize these perfect living masters come like completely ordinary persons, like ourselves. No difference. They are born like us. They die like us. They fall sick like us. They get medical treatment like us. They eat food like us. They have all the problems with their wives and children like us. They are just like us. They have the same karma like us. Therefore, the difference is not in their life. Difference is entirely in their awareness. That they are aware at all times, 24/7, of all the levels of consciousness. They are aware of what is happening in the astral self. They are aware of what is happening in causal self. They are aware of their soul. They are aware of the true home, such current at all the time by sitting an ordinary human being like us. So therefore, when these masters come in our life and they speak to us, they speak with authority. They speak with knowingness because they are not remembering something they saw in meditation. They are seeing it when they are talking to us. That is why there are never any maybes or perhaps in their talk. They talk with a certainty because they are talking from real awareness and real knowledge. That is why never underestimate the power of a perfect living master. And when a perfect living master initiates us, what is initiation? Initiation is acceptance. Initiation is not a method to teach meditation. Many people think initiation is, people tell me, we got initiated from such and such master and we got initiated. I said, what did you get? We learned the five names of repeating. I said, 5 words are all that you got from your master. That initiation. These words will not last even 2 stages. There are no words in the causal plane. Words can only be used here and can only be used in the astral self, nowhere else. And you are calling it that your Namdavan, that you call it initiation. Somebody said, no, he taught me also how to hear the sound. I said, I am hearing sound all the time. People play music outside and I remember I can hear it inside. Is that spirituality? How can you call sound as spirituality? How? What a big mistake. Pastor taught me how to meditate. That is initiation. Not at all. Let me tell you what initiation of a perfect living master means. Initiation is, you were waiting for me to go home. You were not ready so far. Today you are ready. I accept you. We will go home together. Period. That's initiation. Initiation is a connection made with a perfect living master with all his awareness. And he is making connection with you as a friend, as a co-traveler. And your wait period ends when you get initiation, not begins. People think when you get initiated, now our time has come to meditate and do. Meditation is only for the mind, always for the mind. What takes you above is love and devotion. How do you have love and devotion? You can't have love. Our love is all attachment. We are used to love as attachment. I love my children, I love my house, I love my car, I love everything I knew that I got. I is more prominent than you. I is more prominent than the house. I is more prominent than the children. It's all ego game we are talking of. When real loves come, we forget the I and we only think of the beloved, from where the love is coming. In fact, the Persian mystic has said very beautifully, Ishq awwal dar dile mashuk paida nahi shukr. Love is first born in the heart of the beloved. If there is no pull from the beloved, you can't have experience of love. Something must come from the other side before you can experience love. It has to be pull. These perfect living masters create that pull. The pull is the secret. The pull of love that comes from them is secret. And what is devotion? Devotion is response to that pull. We become devotee automatically when we experience that love. These perfect loving masters take us with their love. Their love is so powerful, so pure, so unconditional. They will love you if you love them. They will love you if you don't love them. They will love you if you hate them. They will love you if you kill them. That's the kind of love. You cannot find that in this world, but you can find in a perfect loving master. Their love is completely unconditional, no judgment at all. We go to Master say, Master, I am guilty, I have committed sin, I have my very bad life, please forgive me. Do you know what the Master is looking at? He is not looking at your karma. He is not looking how guilty you are or not guilty. He is looking at the seeking you are having. Your soul wants to go home. That's what he is looking at. So far as karma is concerned, these so-called guilts is concerned, he knows you are trapped in this. He knows the soul is trapped in the web of the mind and of negative power called. So when Master looks at us, he is looking at the soul, the earnestness of the soul to go back home, and trapped in karma. How can he start judging the karma? If he is come for the soul, why would he judge the karma which is on the mind? There is no karma ever on the soul. Soul never created karma, never has karma, never will pay off karma. Only the mind does it. But when we identify ourselves with the mind, the soul forgets itself and mind becomes the soul. I am thinking that is me. That is not you, that is the mind thinking. When we begin to identify ourselves with the mind, karma becomes our karma. If you are able to separate yourself from the mind, you will find you have no karma at all. Karma is all a local game of the mind here. It creates karma, it pays off karma, creates reincarnation, does everything in these three worlds again and again. Soul is separate. Just because the soul was given a mind and given an astral sense, the self-perception, and given a physical body to have these experiences, it was just for experience. We did not come into this world to become only these. We came into the world to have experience and go back to our true home, which we do. But we sometimes spend so much time that ultimately when we say, this is not our place, this is too bad a place, this is too suffering, too much suffering, this is too painful to be here, we don't want to be here, that's the time when we are ready. Our soul is ready to go back home when we are disappointed, not when we are happy here. Again, I'll tell you, one friend of mine in America, he came to me. He says, I've heard some talks of yours on YouTube, and you are talking of people trying to leave this physical world and go inside somewhere, as if the other inside is better than this. I have a beautiful house. I have a lot of money. I just bought a new car. I got everything. And I'm very happy. Why should I follow your path? I said, my dear friend, you don't need to follow the path. You are now destined to have a good time. Enjoy your adventure in this life. Your time is to have enjoyment of this world because everything you wanted is with you. He said, thank you for understanding my point of view. Next week he was back, crying. I said, what has happened to you? I am the most miserable man in the world. I am the unhappiest man in the world. I said, what happened? Last week you were so happy. What has happened now? My wife ran away with some other man and ditched me. I loved her so much. How can one be happy after that? I said, why don't you use your money? Money has no value. Why don't you enjoy your house? What is good a house? It looks so empty, so terrible. The same house is looking terrible, same money is out of no use. Everything has become no use with one small event. Wife ran away with somebody else. I said, look, my friend, this is what we don't realize. When we are in this world, we have two kinds of things. Physical, which are tangible things we can see, and intangible, emotions, emotional states. And we are going through a combination of both. People who have nothing. I said I went to the land in India where Krishna was born and worked. In that area, I saw the gardener to work there. Poor people. In the evening, they sing songs with happiness. I saw happiness on their faces in the midst of extreme poverty. They were there. And I have seen the richest people in the world in Hollywood there. And they are making billions of dollars, not millions. Extremely unhappy, extremely frustrated with everything. Yet when you ask them what makes for happiness, people say money will make us happy. Any better house will make us happy. None of these things is material things are balanced with our emotions, tangible and intangible go together. That is why it's only when the combination makes us feel this is not our place, we are ready to go back home. We all feel this is not our place, then we are ready to go back home. When we are ready, the soul is ready, a perfect living master appears. When the soul or the mind wants something, when the mind wants something, many masters will appear. Many gurus will appear. The gurus are merely going to satisfy your wishes. You want worldly things, there are people with psychic ability, they can satisfy you. You want to go and see heaven, there are masters who will take you to heaven. Heaven is all in the astral plane. There are masters who can take you to the creation, creator of the universe, which is causal plane. The universal mind. People talk of universe, universal mind. They can take you there. But these are all experiences after which you are back to square one right here. But when you are ready to leave this whole thing and go back to your true home, when that seeking comes inside you, then only a perfect living master appears in your life. You can't find one. Because he is too ordinary. People came to great master from all over the world. How they came, how they found him. Each was an interesting story of a series of events, series of coincidences, series of strange circumstances by which they found the great master. Those circumstances come into our lives to bring a perfect living master into our life. I am very happy that I shared all these things with you simply because that is one of the sevas, one of the service he gave. Seva is a very important thing. I don't want to tell you, don't underestimate what seva is. The spiritual tradition, great master said, seva is equal to meditation. But seva should be done without expecting any reward. If you are doing seva to get a reward, that's not called seva. That is called a business transaction. You do something, you get rewarded for that thing. That is not seva. Seva should be done without thinking of any other reward except the reward of getting the opportunity to do seva. And I tell people, I have told many times, when I was so small, I used to see great master sitting and giving a discourse, and there was hot weather, and the big Sevadar would have a big fan to fan him. You know, the big fan. There was no electric power there in the Dera at that time. So one day it occurred to me, what a great opportunity to stand next to great master and fan him. So I crept near the stage and jumped on the stage to take the fan. And the Sevadar admonished me, get down. Got down here. I said, I want to do the fan. You're too small to do the fan. And great master looked at me and said, give him the fan. I can never forget this. And I got up the stage, took the fan. The fan was as big as myself. And I fanned great master. I can never forget that opportunity for that one small favor. Later on, I was in government services. And as a political connection, great master asked me to get the road built into the Dera, got that done, another piece of seva. Today I am serving you, doing seva to you by sharing this thing, also another part of seva to my master, great master. There is nothing like seva, and do not think there is such a thing as good seva and bad seva, or higher seva and lower seva. All seva is the same, no matter what it is. So when you get a chance to do seva, don't miss the chance. Seva is of three kinds. The easiest seva is what they call money seva. Write a check and you are done with it. Put some money in front of the master, you are done with it. Simple seva. The result is also simple. Least very. Next better seva with the body. If you are doing, which used to do mitti seva, for example, working with carrying bricks on a basket for the satsanga that was being built at that time. Great. I remember I used to carry only one brick, so small. And there was a Balochistan Mastana. We used to go together. And the Balochistan Mastana carried a big basket. And we used to talk on the way about some experiences we both were having. So that was a great seva, the brick seva with the body. And we did not think of any reward for that. He said, this is a great opportunity. The seva was the reward, he called it. And then there's a higher seva than even the money seva. Then there is a higher seva with the mind. And that is to do meditation with the mind, not to get any result, but a seva for the master. An offering of your meditation itself to the master. So, very often we used to learn how to do today's meditation. 2 hour meditation we'll do merely as an offering, master, the offering of mind to you through this meditation. Not to get anything for ourselves. So these sevas are all equally important in life because we can do all 3. We can do any one of these or all 3 of them. It's a wonderful way. So seva is something which is very good, and I have always said, whenever you get a chance to do seva, don't miss it. And do not judge, please. Somebody took away my good seva. I hear these stories. Somebody took away my good seva, gave me bad seva, gave me lesser seva. There is no such thing. Any seva you do, so long as you are not expecting any reward for it, is good seva. So I am sharing these things with you purely as my seva to my master, and everything I tell you is strictly according to his teachings, neither more nor less. So I have stuck to that. Some people say, explain in a different way. No. I will only share what he taught and what worked. The biggest thing is that what he gave in initiation, he proved it to me. I am otherwise a very skeptic person, and I will not accept anything if it is not provable. This is totally provable, the spiritual path, but you have to work on it. Go inside. Don't keep on discussing outside. We spend so much time discussing outside, reading so many books, not working on what is written in the books, what we are talking about inside. Go inside and find the answer to everything. Thank you very much for joining me today. I give you great master blessings to all of you.